To see your face. Wow. First of all, let me start out by saying we are safe. That's really the most important thing. But boy, was it a storm, man. And I kind of feel silly bringing you around my yard, showing you the destruction in just my house, because so many other people have it so much worse. By the way, I'm talking about Hurricane Milton that came by the central Florida area. I live in Tampa, a little bit north of Tampa, a little further inland. It's still Tampa, but like Tampa's pretty big, okay? So we're on the north end of that. And even up here, I mean, this is by far the worst I've ever seen it. I've lived in Florida essentially my whole life, my husband and I. He's the quintessential Florida man. And even our neighbor, like we're talking with all the neighbors, this is literally the worst we've seen it. So I can't imagine what it looks like on the coast, on the west coast of Florida, because that's where the storm hit obviously the hardest, and then moving inland. Where should I begin? Because there is so much to say. We are without power, and we are also on a well, which means we are also without water. Which, you know, at first you're like, oh, it's like camping, it's no big deal. And that sounds doable for a couple of days. We're a few days in. By the time you're seeing this, I will try to post updates to my Instagram to let you know if we have power back. We're expecting the power to be out for about a couple of weeks. And I'm getting ahead of myself because in my mind, there's just so much to say, and it's all so overwhelming, and it's all just exhausting mentally, physically. So I'm trying to start from the beginning and then work my way, but I just, you know. So let me rewind just like, I don't know, 20 seconds. I've been trying to post to Instagram, but it's proving difficult because in emergency situations like this, the, you know, cell towers and all of that, they kind of only allow for emergency contacts. So like texting and stuff. So uploading things is not essential. So I'm having a hard time uploading. Just even getting cell service is shoddy. And then of course, seeing videos or news clips. I mean, we don't have TV, but like I have a phone and I'm trying to, you know, see news clips of how it is. And even that is difficult, not only because like, I don't have time to do that because we're busy in the yard cleaning up debris and trying to wrap our heads around figuring out what to do while also trying to occupy 5 children. Don't let this fool you. I put on some mascara and concealer today, and honestly, it feels really nice to do that because the last few days I've been just looking like a wet rat around here, we've been outside, I got some sunburn. There are worse things in life. So the hurricane came through Wednesday day, like I think 2 p.m. is when I mean, literally it was raining all day, 8 a.m. to so much rain, so much flooding, so much wind. Man, was it strong, okay? I think when it hit, it was a category 3. And this thing started out as a tropical storm and moved from a Cat 1 to a Cat 5 in the matter of 1 day, which is unheard of. This thing was super strong and crazy. If you were following the news reports, yeah, I mean, as we all were, right? And so when it made landfall, obviously, like the wind and rain and woo! At that point, the worst of it, it was dark outside. They sent an advisory around like 6:45 p.m., an extreme wind advisory, which they've only done twice in the last 30 years, which that in and of itself should tell you how serious this was. And so even for us, a little bit further inland, we were like, ooh, it got scary for a little while. The howling, the noises, it's a lot. And of course we had flashlights going on. Our power went out at probably 7:30-ish on Wednesday night. And so we were trying to peek outside and see the damage just with our flashlights. And lo and behold, yep, we started seeing some stuff, which I'll show you. But like I said, it could have been way worse. Oh, and I'll go over that when I show you what occurred here. But man, are we lucky. All of our neighbors, they're all safe, which is, I'm just so thankful, and I'm so filled with gratitude because we have so many niceties even without power. We're kind of, you know, living like the Amish, I feel like, even though it's nothing like living like the Amish. We have propane, so we're able to cook dinner and still breakfast on the grill and stuff we have out there, which is so nice. But okay, let me rewind again. So we lost power. And a lot of people have asked, like, oh my gosh, why didn't you evacuate? Why didn't you get to safety? Well, we're in safety, so let me start by saying we are not in an evacuation zone. Had we been in one, we would have evacuated, no questions asked. I know a few people personally who were in an evacuation zone, and they evacuated, of course. We heed the warnings and we listen when we know it's serious, okay? But personally, we were not in an evacuation zone. Our house is newer. The windows are built to sustain hurricane force winds. So we felt confident that we would be okay. Also, our house is on higher ground, even though we have the lake in the background. We're not in like a flood zone or a zone that's going to get, oh, what are those things called? Surges. So we figured we would be safe because we are on higher ground. Even though, again, I'll show you what happened. Like the lake got so much water because the rain was so much. But anyway, some people think, oh, just evacuate. Well, it's a lot more complicated than what you may imagine, because not only are there people in a mandatory evacuation zone that need to evacuate, and it's essential for them to do so. So we want to allow them the space and capabilities and resources to do that. And even the weekend before the storm hit, I went out Sunday to go to Costco to get supplies for Hurricane Helene relief, which is crazy at this point because now we're needing supplies for Hurricane Milton relief. And I'm gonna get on top of that, don't you worry. But even on Sunday is what I'm saying. Man, when I tell you the shelves were getting bare, but I will say I went out a few days later before the storm was hitting, and a lot of the stores did a great job of restocking, plenty of water, plenty of food, shelf-stable food. So I know some people were in a panic, and that tends to happen when we have very large storms coming toward us where it's just mass hysteria. So gas, gone. And even if you are one of the lucky ones that waits 2 hours in a line full of 100 people at the gas station, which you think I may be being dramatic, but it's the reality of the situation. People are waiting in very long lines, waiting for gas. If you were lucky enough to even get gas, you would be unsure of how far that gas tank would get you. And then will you be able to find a hotel to house you? Which way do you go? Because there's really one way out of Florida, right? And the traffic is wild. The highways are gridlocked. So, people stayed in their cars for hours. Are you gonna run out of gas while you're on the highway waiting to evacuate and get out? There are so many variables, and obviously weighing every option, we decided to stay. We actually had a trip planned to Orlando, and we gave up our room at the hotel for some evacuees. We actually had 2 rooms because there's a lot of us. And not gonna lie, a part of me wanted to go, a big part, but knowing that hopefully those rooms went to someone who actually needed to get out, it's better that they got them. So short story long, we were not in an evacuation zone. And yes, the storm was scary. There were moments where I looked at Alex and I was like, what are we doing? And even going out the morning after the storm, It's kind of like apocalyptic a little bit because we were driving down the road, and really the only reason we left our house, well, it's a long story. And we also wanted to check on our other house that is probably a quarter mile from us. Like it's not far from us, but it took us about 20 minutes to get there because so many of the roads were closed, whether it was due to flooding or fallen trees. And it was really scary. Like just knowing, is there a way out? And also for those people who were needing emergency services, just knowing like, would they be able to get to you? We have a tree down right now on the main road out here. I think we're blocked from both ends. One of the trees fell on a power line, which is a whole other story that I'll get to in a second. One of the trees kind of fell on the power line and then mostly in the road. There was kind of a way to get around that. I think someone moved it a little bit, but these trees are massive, huge trees with like 20-foot root systems just ripped out of the ground, which goes to show you how powerful this storm was. But there are trees just fallen on the road. You can't go over it, you can't go under it, you know that song, and you can't go through it. So you're just kind of stuck and at the mercy of people with chainsaws and people with equipment that is able to like move things like that. I mean, the tree is still down. It is, when I tell you, it's massive. I mean, I've truly never seen anything like it. And more than that, you know, there was something else that I've really never seen before is when we were driving around trying to check on the house. It's in a neighborhood. We saw a ton of people outside, all of the neighbors, just the community coming together outside. Hey, how can I help you? Is there anything I can do? Are you okay? And it was really heartwarming to see that. And that's what Florida is all about. We're Florida strong. Things like this happen. Hurricanes occur quite often, not directly to Tampa Bay, so this is a new one, but we will rebuild. The good thing is, one of the things that I saw the day after was a video clip, and I shared this on my Instagram, of all of the linemen, just truck after truck, hundreds, probably thousands of these linemen coming in to Florida to help us, I have goosebumps right now, because that's a big deal. People making the sacrifice, I'm gonna get emotional because it means a lot. These people are sacrificing time with their families to come to Florida to help the people here regain power, fix all of the lines and stuff like that. So it really means a lot that they're willing to put in the hard work and sacrifice a lot just to come here and help rebuild. Because let me tell you, power is out everywhere, not just in my house. The good news is they're working very hard, and already I'm getting text after text from like family and friends. My power just came back on. I'm like, oh, that's so good for you. You're one of the lucky ones because we live on like a smaller area. So of course they're going to first go to the areas that will probably impact the most amount of people at once. And then of course they're gonna focus on hospitals and even the main road. Alex had to leave last night to try to look for some kind of outlet. I don't even know what it's called, some kind of port, because we have a generator that we acquired a few days after the fact. So we went without for enough time, okay. We had a power supply so we could charge our phones and devices and such, but we didn't have a generator. And I know, like, how can you live in Florida and not have a generator? Listen, I hear you. I've never needed one my whole life. Yeah, we might lose power for a day or two. That's the most I've ever gone. A lot of people, surprisingly through the storm, didn't lose power at all. Some people I know on Bayshore who never lost power, which is like right by the bay, right on the water. I'm like, how? So it's wild. But anyway, the main roads, the main road, power is out, which means, what it was called, traffic lights are out, which is so scary. Alex came home and he's like, it's scary out there. Just in case you don't know and you're in this situation, treat a power light out, a traffic light out as a four-way stop. And I know it may be a little more time consuming to have everyone stop and wait and go, but it's so much more safer than just cars zooming and then, you know what I mean? So it gets a little crazy because some people don't know the rules, and it's Florida and half the people shouldn't have their licenses here anyway. We all know that. But they're focusing on those areas first and foremost. So we, as a neighborhood, we're kind of expecting to go a couple of weeks without power. I told you Alex did find a generator on Facebook from someone who bought a generator, which, by the way, last weekend I did go out and look for a generator. They were sold out everywhere. Even online, I couldn't order them. Everyone was sold out, obviously, because people think hurricane's coming, I gotta buy one. A lot of these stores have now placed like a no return policy on these kinds of items. And lucky for us, because someone bought one and we were able to find it on Facebook Marketplace from someone close by, well, semi close by, and he charged us, I think, as what he bought it for. Maybe slightly more, but it's okay. It wasn't price gouged is what I'm trying to say. So Alex has been working so hard and he got that all set up. We're kind of debating back and forth, like, should we set up the water? It's a big to-do. There's a way to set up like the water pump so we would be able to run our sinks and wash our hands, and you think, oh, it's no big deal, no water. Oh my gosh, I'm realizing how good I have it. All the small conveniences in life. Just washing my hands, washing my face. I've been using like towelettes, washing my body, taking a shower, the little joys in life, okay? Getting a glass of water, ice. Having a running refrigerator. One of my family members, short story long, lives in Pennsylvania near the Amish. So like they're friends with a few Amish families. And so when we go visit them up there, we often like, you know, just hang out with some Amish people. And it's always intrigued me, their way of life. And so I've been asking her, do they even have refrigerators? Do they ever eat anything cold? Like, what's the deal, okay? And so I was asking, like, do they ever have hot showers? Do they not know the luxury of a warm shower? Like what? And so I guess she's telling me like how they actually do it. And last time we were up there, one of the gals showed me her washing machine, and it's like a pump. You pump it a few times and then it like runs. It's very cool, the things that they have figured out. It's very interesting. Living like you're camping, not being able to do dishes, not being able to flush the toilet. Flush the toilets? Have you ever not flushed your toilet for a few days? So we filled up the bathtubs and we've been scooping water and putting it in the toilet, and that like flushes it automatically. But our neighbor, he's saying like, oh, maybe my septic tank is backed up or something. I don't know, because he's putting water in and it's not flushing. So he's gonna have to like figure out a way out of that. I don't know, man. That's something that they're gonna have to work on. Okay, I took a couple of notes just to make sure that like I'm all over the place. I'm sure there are a million things that I should have said but have not. But I took some clips of the aftermath of the hurricane around our yard. So I'll show you that. Maybe I'll take you around and show you. I'm actually about to throw a marinade in for dinner, because that's one of the things that I've just been, okay, marinade. Thankfully, our freezers are still rock solid. We just got the generator like an hour ago. So Alex has been like plugging in fans, which is such a nicety, and plugging, oh my God, because sleeping, it's hot. You guys, it's Florida. It's hot over here. It's hot. We're outside all day picking up debris and like getting our yard. We haven't made a dent. And then of course we're getting quotes in for all the fallen trees. So much money. But again, it could have been so much worse. So I'm taking it all in stride, enjoying the small victories. And like these windows let in so much light, and I'm so thankful for that. I would just wake up in the morning and honestly, it's still kind of dark. Like even anyway, so I wake up when the sun is up anyway, and I'm thinking, thank you for this beautiful light that is letting into my house. But for dinners, I've been throwing together a lot of marinades. I told you my chicken is like still frozen, which is wild. And so he hooked up the refrigerator, and we've got a freezer in the back, and I've been trying to work through the freezer, and I knew it was coming, so I didn't buy a lot of stuff to put in the fridge and freezer. When by a lot, I mean, I don't think I bought anything. But the condiments and stuff like that, that's a lot of money too. Oh, why don't you have a generator, Kim? Well, let me tell you, I never needed one before. But now that we're adults, and like, I'm not an adult, you know, I'm not an adult. What do I need a generator for? Except for I am an adult. And so now we have a generator that we'll be able to use time after time. Hopefully we won't need to use it though, that's all I'm saying. Also, generators are very expensive. And every time I would walk by it at Costco, I'm like, man, I should buy that, but like it won't fit in my cart, so maybe next time. Now we won't have to think about it anymore. And it's a very big expense. So, you know, that's a thing too. So we purchased it and we will have it forever and always, because I love technology, but not as much as you see. All right, let me show you around. Let's go. So I got our back patio out here cleared out just not too long ago, because obviously just huge branches, huge trees. Listen, I don't know if I explained it in the voiceover, just how lucky we are. We're so lucky. I mean, this tree right here could have fallen. If it would have fallen any other way, it would have been the worst. It would have, I mean, I don't think you can really understand just how big this tree is. Let me get up close to it. This is my hand. I mean, it's not a redwood. You know what I mean? I can't get farther enough away. It's a biggin, all right? It's a biggin. Got our fence, who cares? Who cares about a fence? But you know what I do care about? If it would have fallen this way, I care. If it would have fallen that way, our sweet neighbor lives over there, it would have crushed her house. It would have crushed the whole house because it is literally, it's literally parallel right there, the house. If it would have fallen any other way, do you know what I mean? Even falling the other way, power lines. So much work would have needed to be done by so many people in order to fix this structure. Literally, this is the best case scenario. I mean, honestly, it would have been nice if it didn't fall at all, obviously, but the way that it did fall, best case scenario. When Alex and I saw this is the first piece of damage that we saw, like peering out the windows. We had no idea what tree it was. We thought maybe it was a branch or something that got our fence. No big deal. We can fix the fence. Who cares about a fence? No one. And going around our neighborhood too, what I have noticed is like, okay, they're doing, it's pretty windy now, but they're doing, so I hope you can still hear me, but they're doing construction on a house over there, just a couple houses away. And yesterday they had like a pump out there, maybe the day before, whenever it was, but they had a pump out there getting up all the water. You know, trying to save the foundation or whatever the heck. I'm sure they had something important why they were trying to get all the water out because there was so much of it. And all I could think of was every single person is impacted by this storm in one way or another, and everyone is living in their own little bubble. And so I'm thinking that family is probably horrified. Like, what does our new house look like? Is it flooded? Are they going to be able to save it? How much more money and time is this going to cost me to get our house, you know, built up again? And same when I was going down the road the other way, there's another construction where they had just put in the windows. And so when I'm driving by, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, those windows, you know, they just put them in like, I don't know, a week or two ago. And so the owners of that house are probably thinking, are windows okay? Is the house okay? Because they're not in it yet. They're still finishing up the building, but they, you know, whatever. In their world, they're probably like, wow, our windows have made it. So we know that it's strong and capable and will be safe for us in an upcoming storm. You know, like these are the things that I think of. And then the people who are driving by, the people whose driveway is completely blocked off because of the tree. Sorry, you got real close to me there. And then this one, the tree that is literally falling over our house there. It's over our roof right there. Can you see our roof? I don't know, it's pretty bright, but that tree fell, but was caught by this strong tree. Like, what? Do you see it? Right here. It would have fallen straight onto our roof. Straight onto the roof. Things like that, like we woke up and just checked the perimeter. We saw that and we just, speechless, honestly. Words cannot, and I'll show you another one in the backyard, but we're like, how? Our house is protected. We are safe. Literally the only thing that matters. And If the tree would have fallen, our house is made of cinder block, we still would have been safe, but it would have caused a lot more damage to the roof, you know, so it's just one less thing we have to deal with. But man, what are the chances? What are the chances this strong tree would hold this one? And wild. We were just praising all day, counting our blessings all day long. Gratitudes, gratitudes, gratitudes. Because like, that's a big tree too, you know what I mean? And same with this one. If it would have fallen that way, it would have got our neighbor's house. If it would have fallen that way, it probably would have got our cars. Well, I'm an idiot and I didn't put shoes on outside, and the debris out here, we have yet to clean this part of the yard, clearly. So I'm gonna tiptoe to the backyard and show you one more thing. Hold on, because I'm trying to go back and see, oh, did I share everything with you? And I don't think I finished my thought from earlier about how today is a good day, because we are going to one of our friends' houses and family, and we're gonna shower and use their pool, which is really nice. So we're excited about that. All right, I've entered the backyard. Oh, okay. I mean, clearly this is the most damaged. So man, that tree is so huge. These trees are just so tall. This is the other pine that we were just in awe. We were in amazement. We were just in shock that it fell this way, because again, any other which way it would have fallen would have been devastating. This is best case scenario. Like falling on some land. Okay, thank you. Like check how deep this thing is. And these trees were alive and well. It's not like these were dead trees, which is ironic because we do have a dead tree up front and it is still standing. I'm still standing after all this time. Oh, we were singing, we couldn't believe it, we laughed. Oh, unbelievable. We said, how did that one survive? But anyway, if this one would have fallen that way, because it's so tall, it would have just crashed. This is our house. It would have just crashed into our house. It was the best case scenario right there. I'll tell you what. Listen, I took a couple of photos. That's what these are, as we were driving around the morning after. The trees were so huge. This is our backyard. This shed was flooded. 2 feet. It was a lot, and that's the shed in our backyard. It holds, you know, obviously a bunch of stuff. And for reference, the water is usually, if you saw the tree, like halfway up to the tree. And I'll show you another frame of reference later in the in a minute when I go over the other side of the lake of our where we had our sandbox, which is completely covered too. But this is the morning after. I kind of just came out here to assess the situation and see like, wow, you know, and that's just what we kept saying. Listen, a few years ago, I think I told you, Eleanor said a quote, someone embroidered it for us, and I just love it so much. A heart filled with gratitude has room for nothing else. And that's all I could think of. It was just like looking around, and yes, it's not great, but it could have been so much worse for us. It is so much worse for other people. And we're just looking around, finding the gratitude, things that we're thankful for. Like, look at this tree branch. It could have flown through the window, you know what I mean? But it didn't. And the fact that we are safe is just the best case scenario. So I'm showing you firsthand. I think I showed you around a little bit, and just the rising sun makes it look so majestic. A fallen tree right on the fence. And we have yet to get a quote for this, but we have had a few people out to give us quotes about the tree. And the one specifically that is falling over the house, caught by the other tree, thank goodness. That one obviously is the most important and pretty emergent. So we're going, we have to deal with that. And so I think they're going to be out in a couple of days to do that. And it's expensive. You know, some people are like, oh, hit up your insurance. Well, everyone has a deductible on their insurance, and it's it's a lot. It's a lot. And you know how insurance is such a dang scam, honestly. Come on, if you know it is, And they just try not to pay for anything. So we're just, it doesn't even matter. We're doing it ourselves. We're paying it. Well, I'm sure we'll contact insurance and then will our premium go up? Who the heck knows? It's pretty annoying. But this is the best case annoying situation. You know what I mean? Like I keep saying that, but it's honestly true. I was lucky. I was able to watch a few videos of more South Tampa, not just Tampa, but St. Pete and just along the west coast of Florida. And I saw some flooding that was even a mile away from the coast that was 6 feet deep. In some areas, 20 feet? 20 feet deep of flooding. That's a whole house, you guys, a whole house. These people have lost everything. Stop signs are underwater for frame of reference. Fences are underwater. Literally whole houses if it got to the 20 feet. And that's a mile away. It's not even storm surge. It's just flooding, okay? This is crazy. So if you are in a situation that you can help people like that, contact Red Cross. I'm sure there are a bunch of other places that you could donate, or if you can donate time or resources. So many people are displaced. They've lost their homes to flooding. It's just devastating, to say the least. And then, of course, there are going to be people who are going to take advantage, like the scammers. When we were looking for a generator on Facebook Marketplace, Alex just kept telling me, like, oh, they want a deposit. Well, of course they do, because who knows if they actually have a generator, So I was like, just send them a picture of the money, of the cash. And that's it. We were lucky enough to find someone who was honest and who had a generator and who, met with us and all of that. But man, people, I'm sure, are just scamming situations. They're looting, they're robbing. One of our friends had a business that was robbed in the middle of the night. I just can't even imagine people's livelihoods. Truly, some businesses are underwater, and when will they be up and running again? Even the schools, I just got a message today from the schools, like they are still without power. We're expected, fingers crossed, to have power on Thursday, so that would be just 8 days without power. I say just, but listen, we have niceties over here. We have a grill. Some people don't have that. It's a lot. It's a lot. And, I've watched these videos before where it's like, oh my gosh, that my heart is aching for you. But really, our lives are unaffected. Do you know what I mean? Like we watch this video, and then we click on the next video, or we go about our day and we make food for our family, or we do our dishes, or we just, because it doesn't truly affect us in the same way. And even me, like it's not really affecting me in the same way that it's affecting other people. It's affecting me a little bit, but I think you know what I'm saying. And it's hard. So unless you're in the situation going through it, man, I can't even imagine the people who have literally lost everything. My heart seriously goes out to them. I'm showing you just around the front of our house, our neighbors, those bent trees, just insane to look at. And the trees that are toppled over, the root systems. Oh my gosh, these trees are huge. This is my neighbor, one of my other neighbors' front yards. This is his drive, this is a road, you guys. It's completely covered in debris. Just straight shot, and you can't even really tell where the road is, where like his driveway is. You know what I mean? Wild. Here's some carp. Apparently, Alex and I saw it flopping around. We were like, what is in the water? What the heck is that? A dolphin? These fish were enormous. I don't know where the heck they came from or what they think they're doing. What? Crazy. I'm not a fisherman. I don't know much about anything. But looking at these fish, I was amazed. I was like, seriously? What kind of sea monster is in our lake right now? It was really interesting just to see just how big these dang fish are. Where do they come from? Where are they going? What do they want? Man, they're huge. Our neighbor told us they were carp. Okay, so here is the other side of my backyard. Obviously, this is the highest I've ever seen the lake For frame of reference, if you see that floating wood to the left, that is where our sandbox is. So typically the water is, let me draw a line on it real quick. Okay, this is the best I could do. Normally, it's not even close to this situation. You know what I mean? Like, we're able to walk around our fence to our neighbor's yard. And I tried to show you his backyard too, how far the water got up. The tree, the huge, massive tree on the right side, his dock is completely underwater. Many docks are completely submerged. And this is just me making breakfast. I was like, okay, pancakes and eggs it is. So nice to be able to have something like that, a warm breakfast, which I'm sure not many people are able to have right now. And then we were cleaning up, dumping, making piles of stuff. And who do we see? The linemen. Oh my gosh. Whenever people are seeing these linemen come, they're like so happy and excited and hopeful. And that's exactly how we felt. And I just want to mention again, thank you so much for anyone who has come to Florida to help. You are the true heroes, police officers, linemen, all of the people who are coming down here, getting deployed, sacrificing time with their family to help get the power back on for the people, help with search and rescue, help rebuild. It means so much. Truly, from the bottom of our hearts, I think collectively as Floridians, we say thank you. We've talked with some of them from Texas and Pennsylvania and, down the road even. And so it's just really heartwarming to know that so many people have come together in an effort to help other people. So this is just us taking time to clean up the backyard, the best of our abilities. So we have a little burn pit going on here. We had it from Helene, although the damage was not even close to this bad. We did have a couple of trees down during Helene, but not nearly as large as the ones that were down this time. We had a lot of debris, but again, not as much. And so this is just the backyard. And I'm telling you guys, we were out here for 2 hours. 2 hours just making a couple of piles, emptying the shed. And we feel like we didn't even make a dent. 5%, so we're going to go, we've been doing a little bit every day. We're going to go hard one day and hopefully get as much done as possible. And we've been letting some neighbors borrow some of our things to help them clean up their yards. And so, we'll get our stuff and we've got plenty of time to clean up our yard. Wolfgang's birthday party. I was focusing on the backyard because this is where his birthday party would be. And I was like, if this is all we get done, it's okay. It's no big deal. Will we have power? That's okay. Maybe Chick-fil-A will have power and I'll be able to get some food, or maybe even Publix and I can get some food from Publix, have some sandwiches, and we're still going to celebrate. I thought, maybe I should cancel. I don't think I'm going to cancel, man. You can't cancel this train. There's no canceling the fun here in Florida. So the party goes on. What's the saying? Yeah, I don't know the saying, but it will continue on. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to do my best. And literally all of this, just the little debris. And then we got a rake from the back and started raking that up. But I'm telling you guys, it's like just this little patch, And then that fallen tree, I love how kids are so unfazed by stuff like this. Oh, fallen tree? Playground, you mean? Climbing all over it, having so much fun. So we had everyone, all hands on deck, coming out to help try to save stuff from the shed, from the flooding. And we were able to, because that's where we store a lot of the chairs and tables for the events that we have. And a ton more stuff was in there. So Alex was working hard doing that. So if you see these clips, oh my gosh, where was Alex? He was prioritizing that because ain't no way I'm going in 2 feet of water with a bunch of bugs. Okay, there was a ton of bugs. Those palmetto bugs, the water bugs are so gross. So I said, you know what? I'll take this one. Okay, you go in the yucky lake water. This is proof. I was like, I got to get some clips of you. Because these tables, even the tables were filled with water. So he had to open all of them and let them drain out. And same with the chairs. We just wanted to open them and let them dry out before we were going to store them again. Where are we going to store them? I don't know, because the water is still up to the shed. Every day that goes by, the water does go down a little bit. So that's nice because the shed is where we keep a lot of our stuff. Oh my gosh, and then our starfruit tree. Our starfruit tree, I could cry. The tree slammed right down onto it. My sweet, sweet starfruit tree that is struggling to stay alive as it is, but it's alive and well. We just got to get this tree off of it. I think it will thrive after that. And just one more look. I mean, look how deep it is. You can kind of see, but kind of not really. I think once inside the shed, it got deeper, is what the kids were saying. And then also, I guess the floor of this thing was starting to float, which is like, I don't know how that works. There's so many variables, so many things to think of. So we were trying to save it all and keep it dry and just do our best, honestly. And then Wolfgang even found a rake, which I thought was hilarious. I was like, where did that even come from? It's like a kid-size rake. It came with his garden set, of course. He had his own little wheelbarrow. It was actually really funny. I was like, hey, dude, can I borrow that for a minute? So I went to the corner of the yard and started cleaning up over here. And then I thought, when they get rid of this tree, it's just going to make more debris and all that stuff. So I really just raked this little spot. It didn't make that big of an impact, but you know what? I did what I could, and it's better than nothing. And the lawn guys will come. I think they come Monday, so we're trying to get all the big stuff up, and then the lawn guys can kind of crunch up that little stuff. That's the hope. And honestly, who knows if the lawn guys will even come because of everything else. In all seriousness, we are very lucky. And no, I did not wash my chicken. Sorry. I never do. By the way, hand sanitizer coming in clutch, man. Oh, wow. I don't know if I'd be able to live without the hand sanitizer. That's one thing. There are a few different things that I wish I would have have. So there are these things. Okay, first of all, boots, which I'm like, oh, like rain boots, like some kind of weather boot. I don't go camping. I don't know anything about this stuff. But it seems so insignificant. I haven't thought about ordering them. Amazon is definitely not coming here, okay? So many other people actually need things, so I'm not gonna order things like that right now. And then also, like, there are these sponges that you can bath or something. I forgot what they're called. So that would be something to keep in your emergency kit, I'm thinking. Honestly, more things, but in all seriousness, at the end of the day, they're just things and conveniences, which are nice to have, but obviously could live without. I'm throwing a marinade together right now, which is I have found the easiest way to make dinners, and because we can throw them on the stove. Alex made dinner last night because I feel like I had just reached my point where and the baby just was on me, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here with him. And honestly, it's exhausting because it does take a toll on you. Not only physically from the cleanup, but mentally, not preparing for the storm. And then when it's hitting, did I make the right decision? Is everyone going to be safe? And then after the storm, all the cleanup. And there's so much mental exhaustion that pays a toll. And so last night I was just like, and so Alex made dinner. I was like, who are you? But we've got canned green beans and all the good stuff. So we had, I forgot what my marinade was yesterday, but it was really good. What did I make? Oh, you know what it was? Super simple. I got it from the fridge it's something Mr. something teriyaki sauce or marinade. It could be both. And that was it was really simple. And then they made spaghetti. I was like, oh my gosh, what conveniences. We could just go without power. What do we need power for? But if you're in Florida and you got some of the storm, I hope you're okay, truly. I hope your belongings are okay. I hope you're safe, that everything goes back to somewhat normal soon, as much as it can, even though something like this changes us forever. It's kind of wild how just, it's like a loss. Your whole world is all consumed in this, and everyone else is just going on about their stuff, and you're like, wait. And then you try to catch up, and I feel so far behind, and oh my gosh, the kids start school. Wait, is there school opening? I don't know. Because they were without power. They haven't sent out a notification yet, so I'm assuming it. I feel like many people around us have power, so I'm sure they're gonna have school. So what does that look like? Going back to the day-to-day, when your day-to-day actually isn't normal at all, which what even is normal, you know? But we're making do, and we're making it work, and we're so thankful for what we've got going. And thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being a friend. For real, you mean a lot, and I really appreciate all of the comments and well wishes and checking in on me. Really appreciate that. It means a lot. That's why I'm making this video. I don't know if I'll have a video for Thursday and or Saturday. I was just thinking maybe my next video will be like Amish around the house happenings. Living like the Amish. Actually, we're not living like the Amish at all. But I feel like an around the house, because I'm still doing a lot of stuff. So I'm not sure what will come. I mean, we could get power back on now? No? Okay. Well, here's to hoping. I don't know if I have to cancel Wolfgang's birthday party. Apparently there's another storm coming. Maybe Nadine. I can't even right now. I literally mentally cannot process another storm maybe possibly headed our way. No thank you. I'm just going to say no thank you. Most of the models are shutting it down, but I guess the American model is like, no, we got one more brewing, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you cannot do this to us, stop it. So hopefully they get the memo to like cut that in the bud, you know? The good news is there's a cold front coming in, so that should feel nice while we finish picking up the debris around the yard. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out. It means a lot. I hope you're safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.